Welcome to Audacity Works, a podcast inspired by and dedicated to the working artist, the creative entrepreneur, and generally, doing the damn thing. This exists on the premise that the world belongs to those who have the audacity to believe that their lives have value. This is for you. Welcome to Audacity Works. I am your host, Rachel Strickland, and this is episode number 155. And it's about how we are fucking ourselves and how we can get unfucked. Also, Jerry's still out on that cicada sound. I'm not sure. But first, tiny updates from me. This episode was inspired by something that came up during class for week 4 of the Audacity project. We are halfway through the project right now. This week we're on break. So if y'all are listening, I hope you're enjoying something. And here, I'll build in a tiny lesson here for you. I was asked to put in a break week for years before I finally did it. And the reason that I didn't want to was that I was afraid that people would lose the momentum of the project and drop like flies and not get good results, even though they were literally saying, we need a break. And finally, I put a break in with excellent results, 10 out of 10. Everyone liked it. They didn't drop like flies. In fact, they had better results because they had more time to catch up and give themselves a rest. And also, I got a rest. I still respond to WhatsApp messages from my taters during break week, but I don't take any calls, and we don't have class. So in short, I should have listened a hell of a lot sooner. Like, they were literally telling me what they needed and what they wanted. So when your people that you serve are speaking up and being like, we want this, just trust them. Okay? Listen to your people. So things from my world, I'm getting better, but I'm still hurt, my SI joint. So it's going to be a long, slow burn, I think. It is getting better, but lifting weights, which is my favorite thing to do, it doesn't tolerate it well. It gets worse for like a week after. So on that note, I'm going back to the aerial studio because I gotta do something. Actually, tonight is my first night. I've rented a rig point at the local school here, and I'm gonna go in and try to do things that I learned my very first year because, my friends, I have not touched an aerial apparatus in well over a year. So that's not even the snake bite's fault. That's just true. And I'm super excited to suck. I'm excited to go in and suck this evening. Do I have my own rig in the backyard? Yeah, I do. Do I use it? Not really. No, not so much. I'm alone a lot. I'm a solopreneur. This podcast right now, I'm sitting in a room by myself. It happens quite a lot when I respond to my students' work, and when I write, and even when I create. When I go into the studio to create in service of my one-woman show, The Monstrous Feminine, that's all alone. And solitude does suit me. It's one of my 5 non-negotiables. I need alone time, like a lot of it. If you don't know what the 5 non-negotiables are, I will link that episode in the show notes. I've gotten quite a few messages about it. I'm glad that it was helpful. And it's about how to deal with your life during crunch time, or like before a big show or a big event, when life gets really chaotic, how you can actually live well during those times. So I'll drop that in the show notes. But even though solitude is a heavy non-negotiable for me, I get a lot of it. And I don't want to like, I would rather be embarrassed. I won't really be embarrassed. I'll be delighted in how bad I am at this discipline that I've been studying for 18 years. I'm pretty excited to be bad at it. Why? Because I have so much permission when I'm bad at things to to discover something new and exciting. That joy that I have not had in a very long time where Ariel is concerned of like, oh my God, I did it. Like to do a footlock tonight, I'm going to be so excited by that. I'm pretty confident that I can do it, but I'm still going to be pretty happy about it when it happens. And by the end of that hour that I'm renting the point for, I will have worked out in a way that I didn't even realize was happening. And hopefully my hips will agree with me. Well, I'll try to remember to tell you how it goes. No promises because I rarely remember to do those things. But yeah, let's get on to the meat of the episode, okay? And I'll explain what I mean, like how we are fucking ourselves and how we can get unfucked. And that is because we don't, as a population, have an updated understanding of what a task is. And this becomes relevant when we try to make a plan for ourselves. A training plan, for example, or you want to make a piece of work. You're like, well, I'm going to set some deadlines for myself. And then we do. And because we don't have an updated understanding of what a task is, typically it doesn't work. And then we feel terrible about ourselves and, just flush ourselves down the toilet. And none of that is helpful. I started thinking about this first because of some writing from Andrew Simonet, who wrote How to Make Your Life as an Artist. Fully, highly recommend. It's available for a multitude of price points, including free. You can download it free. He makes his work open sourced and accessible in this way. I'll put a link to that in the show notes. I am mad that I didn't write this book, but I am glad that he did. So let's take one of the examples that I first think of, which is, let's say we have a task of finding a venue. Okay, we need to find a venue. That is not a task. That is a huge accomplishment, and it's full of like 25 tasks inside of that task. All right, so you need to find a venue. If that's your task for the day, you're set up for failure, right? Because there's too many tasks inside that accomplishment. But to text a friend who you know has performed at a specific location and ask them a question about that venue, that's a task. That text to your friend is a task. Spending 20 minutes researching possibly appropriate venues and making a list is a task. And then there's going to be so many more tasks that comes after that, like get the email address or get the phone number. Those are tasks. Call and leave a message. That's a task. Most people don't have that specific problem, so I'll be a little broader here. Something that I see quite a lot is I'm going to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. That's not a task. It's a goal, but there are actual tasks inside of it that could help you be more easeful in succeeding where you want to succeed. Like, make sure you have gym clothes and that your gym clothes are put in a certain location that is easy to get to. And one of the questions that I want to invite y'all to start asking is, how can I make this easy? How can I make this easy? I was reading a post from Ramit, this is years ago, and Ramit was trying to establish a gym habit for himself. Ramit Sethi is my personal finance favorite snarky presence, I guess, online presence, coach, whatever. Anyway, so I wasn't going to the gym and I wanted to go to the gym. So I was like, how can I make this easier on myself? And the thing that did the trick was he would put his gym clothes right by the door, like all of it. The shoes, the socks, the extra knickers. And if you don't bring extra knickers to the gym, like what's up with that? Are we just like wearing sweaty undergarments all day? Why? That's a personal question. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like these folks I see that come into the studio or the movement space in their leggings And then they work out and then they leave in the same leggings and they wear them like for the rest of the day. I'm like, why? Why? Also, how? But why? Anyway, I digress. So Ramit made it easier for himself by just putting them by the door. Put all the gym clothes by the door. That is a task. In fact, I have another good example from Ramit. He wanted to establish the habit of flossing. So he decided he was a successful flosser if he flossed one tooth. And by the time he got to that one tooth, he was already like standing there in the bathroom with the floss. And most of the time, like 99% of the time, he would just go ahead and floss the rest of his teeth. But if he just didn't fucking want to, then he was like, whatever, I flossed my one tooth, I'm successful. And then he'd go to bed and move on with his life. In other words, what I'm talking about is expectation management. And we're not good at that. I'm not good at that. I've had a lot of practice and I've improved in some places, but yeah. Let's do one more example, okay? I have developed a habit of walking because there's not a whole lot else I can really do right now. And I'm tired of being sedentary, don't want to be sedentary, so I started walking. I was like, I'm going to walk twice a day. I have wanted to do this for 3 years, okay? Walk twice a day. Like, wouldn't it be lovely to wake up, have matcha and morning pages, and then go for a walk before you start the day? Yes, Rachel, it would be lovely. But we didn't do that, did we? No. Not until there was basically no other option. So I started walking in the big walk in the morning and then a smaller one in the late afternoon, early evening, so that I can I'm hoping for like 10,000 steps. I don't really care. I don't care about the steps. What I care about is the walk. I started about 5 weeks ago, and it became so quickly necessary because it was actually really, really good. But I still need to do tasks to make it easy. I have these same crappy clothes that I walk in, and I keep them on a chair so that they're easy to get to in case someone is taking a nap in the room where my other clothes are. I don't want to like not be able to go. So that's a way that I make it easy on myself. I saw a brilliant like little meme the other day that said, I don't buy the whole if they wanted to, they would, because I want to, and I don't. It still makes me laugh. So anyway, yeah, I think that we fuck ourselves in terms of our goals because we don't really have an accurate understanding of what a task is or expectation management. And so we make these plans that we can't possibly, we're setting ourselves up for failure, not because we're not capable. We're very, very capable. We're very capable. But like, come on. Quote unquote, choreograph 2 minutes of the new act is not a task. That's too hard. That's too much. And here's why I think this is. The current software, if you will, that operates in our brains about accomplishing goals. This is some old ass software. Our operating systems when it comes to like achieving goals was purchased in the early 2000s. It's dusty. Of course it doesn't work. And these old dusty operating systems are like very linear. You could call it hustle culture. You could call it grind culture. But it's very, very linear and makes one feel that things should work on an upward trajectory at all times. And of course, in a straight line. And to me, these are very paternalistic, capitalist, colonial structures that have designed these dusty operating systems that just still click away in our brains. And the reason that I think that, besides the obvious evidence that's everywhere, is that these kinds of systems subvert humanity. Colonialism subverts humanity. Capitalism subverts humanity. The patriarchy subverts humanity. All people's humanity. So if you're in a situation or if you're in a pattern and trying to accomplish something and it's so hard and you feel like your humanity is being subverted rather than honored and negotiated with, you might be inside one of these boxes. And these boxes intersect, so you might be inside of all the boxes. So question number 1 that I invited you to ask is, how can I make this easy? Or how can I make this easier? Question number 2 that I want to invite you to ask is, in any of my ambitions or the goals that I'm trying to achieve, where is my humanity being denied by me? Or others, but it's usually by you. It's usually by ourselves. That's why these structures are so effective. They don't need to police us. We police ourselves. Brilliant. But it's shit. So question number 2, where is my humanity being denied by me? And now, of course, I need to play devil's advocate for a moment, because I feel like this could easily be taken and oversimplified. You're like, but we have to work. Like, you have to work hard. You have to work hard if you want to do anything of worth and of value. And it seems, Rachel, like you're telling us not to work hard. Or like that everything should be easeful and easy and comfortable. And my friends, that is not what I'm trying to say at all. Because yeah, we have to work. It's a joy to work. It is a joy to work hard in pursuit of something that you deem worthy. It is not a joy to work so hard that your humanity is subverted and squashed down and denied, including the need to sleep, if you forget to eat, if you are working at 4 a.m., even though you don't like staying up late. At that point, it's not hard work anymore, it's suffering. And we have this cultural story that drives me bonkers, that suffering is noble, that poverty is noble, and that if you make money and you have enough, then you're not noble anymore because you're not suffering, you're not struggling. I mean, ask anyone who has some money, do you still struggle? If you're wondering. And all this feeds into the idea that martyrdom, that there's like a nobility in martyrdom and in subverting your own humanity, particularly if you see it in service of someone else, as though that is a good thing to be sought after. So yeah, you're going to work hard. And no, it's not going to be comfortable. And I don't know anyone who listens to this podcast who is not already trying to do things that are unreasonable from an outside perspective and so hard and seem impossible and like, what are you even doing? And I love that about y'all. And I know it's not comfortable. I already know that you're going to work hard. I already know that. My question for you is, how can you make it easier? How can you honor your humanity while you pursue this great thing, these great things? That is my question for you today. I'm looking at the time. We're almost up. This was not a question that I got. It's just something that floated into my head. If you have requests for future episodes, I would so love to hear them. You can reach me always on Instagram at Rachel Strickland Creative or on Patreon at Rachel Strickland Creative. This podcast is powered by Patreon. So my patron saints, I got to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for making this possible, and indeed for making me possible. This could not exist without you. And the greatest compliment that you could give me if this was beneficial for you in any way is just to share it with someone that you thought might enjoy it, or might like to hear it, or could use it. And thank you ahead of time. I'd like to grow a little bit. We're pretty much staying steady. So if you can help me when it's easy for you, If you think of someone, you're like, who needs to hear this? Who's this face? And then send it to them. I would deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here and listening to me yammer on about wanting you to have an easier life. Also, fuck Donald Trump. If no one's said that today, let's just go ahead and say it. Fuck that guy. Go on with your bad selves and see if you can make it easier. And don't go back to sleep.